Welcome, everybody. There it is. That was weird. Alrighty. Do I have audio? Yes, I do. All right. Today is a fun one. It's going to be a short stream. I've only got a handful of hours left, 2.5 hours left to get this done. I got to go somewhere, so I'm going to fire this thing up. Password protection activated. Okay, it's fine with me. I don't want to unlock. I want to access, unless that's backwards. This one's always weird. It should just ask for the password as soon as I hit the thing. Oh, no, they changed it. Okay, temporary unlock. Yeah, yeah. I was thinking of Mtron. Mtron's password protection is slightly different. Okay, so I need a little bit of tip in it cold. I loaded it. And I need a little bit. Shows here I'm running 20% rich right now, so that's going to be part of my warm-up enrichment. I'm going to hit my F11, or is it 12? 12. And see what I got. I got warm-up enrichment, and 2% right now. But my lambda is negative 20. Interesting. So that makes me think that I have to change my charge temp estimation a little bit, and potentially intake air temp. But intake air temp comps shouldn't really be too active. Oh, what is that? Well, that's not what I want to see. I did a base map on this, so I must have missed that little guy. Not that it's bad, that's the factory base map. It's just not exactly what I want. It's not exactly what I like my IAT comp to be. Because I like my IAT comp to go more along with load. Because I like to keep it a little rich. Let's try this one. I got two of them. This one? No, not that one. That's a different one. I have different ones based on what sort of tuning method you use. The method of tuning you use is important to know how you're going to use your compensations. For example, if I'm using a modeled fuel map like this, the air temp should already go into the mass calculation, and I shouldn't need fuel changes based on air temp because it should happen automatically. Those aren't either the right ones. What happened to them? Well, I'll just do it by hand. Fuck it. So basically, right, the fuel mass calculation should already take into account that you're going to take air temps if you have a modeled fuel map. If you don't have a modeled fuel map, fuel model, there we go. Brain has stayed there. If you have a modeled fuel model, I feel like I'm saying model a lot. Anyways, the point is that you shouldn't need to have that. And any change you make is either compensating for slight differences in the intake manifold or the engine itself, engine geometry, things like that. Or it could be that you just want to compensate a little bit differently. You don't want the fuel mass alone to dictate, how much fuel goes into the engine. And at first, you might be like, well, hold on a second, shouldn't that always dictate? Absolutely. But that's where load comes in on this one. So, for example, if we look up here, we have fuel being taken out as temperature goes up. Now, I shouldn't need to do that, right? I don't need that because this fuel model is a modeled air mass. So if my VE is accurate, then I shouldn't need to add or remove fuel based on air temp because it's going to know immediately, oh, hey, I should need to add or remove fuel to get an accurate fuel mass. Now, changes in my fueling might be needed for reductions in atomization. So I don't have as much atomization, so fuel is sticking to things and not burning off. And so I might need to add a little bit because of that. Or as the temperature goes up and my fuel mass drops, but I'm in a high load, I might not want the air fuel to still be my target air fuel, right? So basically what I'm saying is the ECU is going to calculate the air mass. It's going to add, so look at my target air fuel, and it's going to go, okay, here we go. The target air fuel for this load is 0.8 lambda, we'll just say. And if you look at the target AFR table here, you'll see we have the load and the RPM. This doesn't take air temp into account. So maybe when I have this 8.2 here, but my air temp is also 200 degrees, well, I kind of want to add some more fuel to that. Two reasons. One, I want to remove heat. If I'm adding a lot of heat to it and I get really good atomization, well, that's wonderful. Really good atomization is awesome. But I get a faster burn, and I can compensate for that with timing by reducing the timing, but maybe I still want to remove some heat, right? And so add a little bit of fuel in there to help remove heat and keep those high IATs from increasing chamber temps a lot. Or even, sorry, I got a text from my wife. Or I just even want to add a little bit of fuel to slow the burn back down some, or just remove heat, or whatever. So as I add load, if I'm in a fuel model, it goes richer, but as the temperature goes up, I'd like to add a little bit of fuel. And so I want to add a little fuel right here. Add 5%. Now this is in Celsius, right? So it's just going to be a gradual thing, but I don't need it when it's at idle, so I don't need a lot of it added there, but there's some like that. And then here, I shouldn't need anything on that front. And in some cases, the IT is really low. You could even choose to pull a little fuel out, right? You can say, hey, let it lean out a smidge and give you a little more power, or remove less heat, or whatever. So you can take some fuel out with this trim. But again, with the modeled fuel model, modeled air mass fuel model, you don't necessarily need an IAT fuel trim. You definitely want an IAT ignition trim. That's a given. So I'm just changing that table to be something closer to what I like, and now I'm going to address my fluids. Now I'm seeing this thing is really jittering. Like, I'm getting a lot of pulsations here on my map sensor, and I kind of feel it in my butt too. Like, the car is not running quite as smooth as I want it to be. I feel like this spot right here might need a tiny bit of fuel. Right here might need a little bit of fuel. Right there. See the lambda drift towards lean right there. But I still feel like something is missing. There's a little bit of oscillation happening. Still a little jittery. I'm going to look and see in my configuration. Let me go to my analog inputs. The filter is really low right now. And a low filter is good especially if you're doing a map-based tip-in enrichment or something like that. I'm not. I'm using throttle-based, so I am using map for um, wall wetting, so that is something to think about. It is based on wall wetting, but no lean trends there on tipping. So there's no harm in filtering that on the medium filter. If I go heavy, you can induce. Look at that. You see how much that jitter went away though? The jitter's gone. But you can induce lag if it doesn't get enough fuel. But this one actually like it's doing all right with that too. Let's watch it. Let's watch the middle of the screen here. This gauge pressure as I tip it with my foot. Does my foot show? Where's foot? On the left here. So let's see. As this goes up, how well does this respond? Pretty quick. A little late, but not too bad. And Subarus are blessed in that the map sensor is so close to the throttle blade. That's really cool. It's like right by the throttle blade. So when that throttle opens up, the air pressure changes like instantly. The map sensor sees it, but it also sees the jitter, and you saw the difference. Look at the filtering. Look at this yellow line here for the map pressure. Look at it right there. It's drifting some. I want to address that, but watch out if I change this filtering again. If I go to low, look at that. Look at that line just bouncing around. It's almost blurry. It's bouncing so much. We'll go to medium. A little less bounce. I'm going to keep it medium. I don't need to have it that high. It's good. I do want to see if I can figure out why it's so bouncy at idle. My ignition timing is going pretty crazy trying to control idle speed. So I might have my PID a little too aggressive on idle control. It sure idles really well though. But I'm going to just double check my control. I got a 0.8, my derivative there. So let's go 0.9. That's a 10% change from what I got. I'm going to go 0.7 on proportional. So I got, that's like 15%. Timing still moves quite a bit. It's still very active. And it seems to be okay. Let's check idle. Let's check the idle motor. Thought it was off. It's function. There it is. So it's moving quite a bit. It's pretty active. I probably don't need the air side to be that active. The idle actuator is too active, in my opinion. Typically, I don't need the air to be so active. I need the air to be casual and let the timing be very active. So here's integral. So we're going to go 0.75. We're going to drop that down, see if we can slow it down some. And then we'll take this deadband, and we're going to go 25 with that. I'm going to check the ignition control. I don't have a deadband for that. I just want to slow this actuator down some. It's just a little too active. Let's see if we can get rid of that oscillation. Yeah, that's a lot better. Just a little bit there. Oh, it's a little misfire right there, actually. I'm gonna check the cams real quick. Make sure the cams are parked in the right spot. They're not being weird. This one's showing. They're both showing 5 degrees advance at idle. That seems weird. It should be 0 at idle. So I don't know if a couple of heat cycles have changed it some or what. Calibrate. I'm rev it up a little bit and calibrate. Huh. Freshly calibrated, it still parks itself like 2 to 4. That seems weird. Just freshly calibrated. I did rev it up. Let's see if I do it down low. See if it changes at idle. So now, what would that be? That would be um, on for RPM 0. I got to go a little higher in the RPM. There it is. Do it really low. Bring it back down. Time belt stretch. That'd be one of the things that you could see is timing belt stretch would definitely do it. So now we're gonna go inlet bank 1, and I'm gonna look here at these cam angles. So I got 155. She's bouncing around a little bit. Let's see if I rev it up. What happens? Look at that, 159. That's really crazy. It's really crazy that it's that much of a change from idle to revving up. I mean, there's going to be some belt stretch, right? That's a given. The valve train load and everything, there's going to be some belt stretch, but that seems like a lot. Seems like a lot to me. But that explains why it shows that 5 degrees is idle. Now the question is, do I leave it at this so it's 5 high, or do it up top? Well, I don't run ABCS at idle, so I'm not going to use it at idle. So I'm going to let it calibrate at the higher RPM, at that higher value, so it's more accurate when I'm actually using the ABCS system, which is, in power, drive around, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if I've seen them stretch that much or have that much movement from idle to revving. That's like 6 degrees. That's a lot. I don't think I've seen them go that far. Usually it's like 2. That's a lot of movement. So I'm not too happy about that. I don't really know what to do about it right at this point in time, especially because I gotta get this tune done and all of that. So, hello hyphen 20G kind of a POS. I don't think so. This car rotated. No, it's got a 20G on it. Link ECC per legit, which made it for 2015 plus. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I love the Link. It's great for the money. It's hard to beat. But their can stuff isn't on par with some of the other stuff, and they just don't have the features that we have with like the M-Tron. I have so many more features with the M-Tron. The rolling launch control is really awesome. I can do it on the Link, but I gotta do some fuckery with it. There's a lot of stuff I gotta do to make it work, but I really like the M-Tron. It's got way better fuel models and that kind of stuff. But the Link, for the money, for an older car like this, or a track car like this, it's hard to beat. Okay, that being said, I do want to add some fuel at idle. I think I've got it set at 993. I don't think that's quite enough with these cams and these larger injectors and the small displacement. It's just not enough. That's a little too much right there. So I'm going to go with like a 9.5 or a 9.35, somewhere in that range. I got 9.4. We'll go 9.4. At these lower speeds, it's hard to get an engine to run stoic at idle like this when you have big cams and big injectors and small displacement. So if I get just a little more, that should help stabilize stuff too. The oscillation and that occasional misfire tells me I'm not getting quite as even fuel make the bank, but I don't know which one it is. I don't think I have individual cylinder corrections turned on. I don't. And I would need to get some EGTs or AFRs of each cylinder to figure out exactly which one's happening to. I could guess and add some and stop and add some and stop and go back and forth. But it's probably better just to give the car what it wants, and that's just a tiny bit more fuel and have it idle better like it is right here. It's much more steady. No more little burps, nothing. So it definitely wanted just a little bit of fuel. And there's a lot of cars that don't idle at 1. There's a lot of cars out there that idle richer than 1. So this might be a little too much fuel. I can pull a little more here in a bit. This is 6%, right? This is 6% more fuel at idle at 0.94 than it is being at stoic at 1.0, right? That's the cool thing about using lambda for your air fuel targets is the percentage is right there, and that's 6%. So was 6% too much? Maybe. So I can take it and I can go with a little less fuel and see if here we'll take it at 4%. Let's see if those problems come back. Hey, that's good too, right? It's not happening there, so that's nice. All right, let's drive it some. I got to work on this VE now. Dyno is currently set to move the bed. That's not what I want. I need the dyno to be set to hold speed. Need it to hold speed. And I'm going to set it around 35 miles an hour. That's like my go-to speed for this dyno, and the ability to work the VE map at the various RPMs and various gears. So stability is the key. When you're doing a VE map, stability is the key. So that's why I use 35, because I can get a bunch of different gears and have it be stable. So here we are, stable. Target AFR is about 1, it looks like. And I've got 19% too much fuel right there. That doesn't make sense. 19% right there does not make sense. So that means I might not have enough cam in it. Let's take the cam positions. This is where I'm at. 25. These are Kelford Bs. I can add more than 25. Let's throw some more at it and see what direction our correction goes, because I should not need to be pulled. I should not have to have 60% volume VE at 3,500. That doesn't make sense. So I either have too much cam or not enough. I'm going to go with not enough, because the Kelfords are cut pretty retarded. And I mean retarded as in advanced retarded, not as in bad. The Kelford cams are really good. I really enjoy them. So I'm gonna go straight to 35. Okay, it riched up. So I might have too much cam in it. Okay, we're gonna go to 20. See, it leaned out. See how fast air fuel went towards lean. So that means I had too much cam in there. All right, we're gonna go 15. See if that's there. Yeah, 12%. Counting down slowly, but around 12%. All right, we'll go 10. I'd be really surprised if 10 does it, but hey, you never know. Okay, nothing changed there. Okay, so I'm this is one of those times where I'm surprised by the result I got. Looks like 15 is about the money for this spot. Let's bring out some load and see if that changes. We're gonna watch coolant temp too, of course. So I'm at load right here. I'm in this 30 zone. I got negative 15. I'm gonna drop down to 20. Look at that. Now it's rich, right? Go the other way. So at that zone, it liked the 30. Let's go 35. It leaned out at 35. So you can see here that just at the same RPM, with a change in load, we're getting a change in our desired cam angle. Now that makes sense. And it should make sense if you think about it. Think about what cam does when you have overlap. Let me fix this really quick. When you have overlap, if you have a lot of overlap and you're at high manifold vacuum on the intake, you're going to suck exhaust right into the cylinders. So if you have a high manifold vacuum, like I did initially, if I go back to that spot, right, I was at 60 kPa. So, and even here at almost 50. So basically 55, 60 kPa. That's pretty high manifold vacuum. That's half of the atmospheric pressure in the manifold. So when the exhaust is at atmospheric pressure or higher, it only makes sense that adding overlap will retain exhaust into the intake port. And we just saw that. We just saw that having a lot of overlap with the cam advance at 20 or 30 in vacuum made the car rich because there wasn't enough air. Then at atmospheric pressure, when intake and exhaust were the same, the overlap was beneficial. And when the manifold pressure was a little bit higher than exhaust pressure, like it would be at 3,500 and 120 kPa, the overlap was very beneficial. And that's the result that we would expect for that. So now we're going to bump it up a little bit higher. I might just go a different gear. Let's see. Oh, wait, we'll go back to that spot. So we adjusted the cams for that. So now I just need to verify how close the VE is. So the VE was, I think, 12% or 13%. That still seems like too much. This engine should easily want, let me see, what we got here? it should really want almost 100 VE right here in this spot, and it's saying it wants 85. That just doesn't seem right. So potentially I have something tweaked a smidge that needs to be adjusted. Could be the fuel density, which we're going to check here in a second. Could be the fuel density. Could be my injector size based on my fuel pressure and all of that. So we're going to check fuel pressure first. See what we're getting for a differential fuel pressure. And that is right there. So 240, that's actual fuel pressure. So if I rev it, we see we get 300. So 300 at atmospheric pressure. It's why I did that to see what the base fuel pressure is. Because when I give it throttle, as long as the RPMs are low enough, the turbo hasn't spooled up yet, I'm going to be atmospheric pressure. So right there, atmospheric pressure. And I can see that. Look at map and see 94. And that's what our atmospheric pressure is here, is 94 kPa. And I got almost 300 exactly on the nose. So that's 42.5 or whatever PSI. So the fuel pressure is good. So is my injector setup good? Let's just double check that. Make sure that I didn't have anything incorrect there. 1050s at 300. That is about right. I'm pretty sure that's what Injector Dynamics rates their injectors at, right? Exactly that pressure. Let me go to the internet to double check. It should be that. I mean, it's a 1050 injector. They rate them at 300 kPa is what their injectors almost always rated at, right? But I'm going to get the exact number from their little sheet because it could be 57. Slope versus offset. 43, 1065. So it's actually 1065. So there you go. So that's where it should be. So that coincides with the trends that we're seeing. So I'll put that in there. Now, is that enough? Probably not. It's probably not enough to make a 15% difference up there, right? That would definitely be not be the case. But my dead time, I say, got 9:35. Let's go back to the website. See what they got for dead time. I've got 9:25. So there's more fuel right there. That should be 9:25, not 9:35. So I'm going to take that down. Minus 0.1, like so. Wait, what? Oh, equals. See, it's not supposed to be equals minus. It's just minus 0.1. There we go. Oh, no, it's point. Oh, that was funny. 0.01. So let me get this guy. 9:25. Okay. So I had a little extra fuel from that. And I mean, a tenth. It's not even a full tenth of a millisecond. It's a hundredth of a millisecond. Not a lot of fuel in hundredths of a millisecond, but there's some. There's always some. So let's go back to this sheet real quick and just see what the spot to the right and to the left of it is. To the right of it, I got 795 and left 1125, and that's at 12 and 16. This is not 12 and 16. This is 13 and 15. So I can open the spreadsheet for these injectors, which I should already have open. Oh no, I got my 1700s open because I was doing that rotary. Oh, I should have streamed the rotary. That's what I should have done, huh, guys? Screwed you. Should have streamed the rotary. It's a 13B, built 13B, turbocharged, etc. with a oh, that's weird. The plug and play data for the link is telling me 935. It's basically saying I put the plug and play data in incorrectly, but that's really interesting because their website doesn't show it being that much. Why is it a tenth or a hundredth of a millisecond off? Interesting. Yeah, it's exact. This is the ID data I put in there before I tuned the car, before I did the base map, or when I did the base map. Okay, short pulse with adder. All right, well, we're not going to be in the short pulse with adder up there at the top very much, are we? Okay. RBs have belt stretch issues. Yeah, you know, that's crazy, but what's even crazier about that is the RB belt is so much shorter than the freaking EJ belt, right? The EJ belt is, you know, like really, really long. All right, so we got some. So we got some fuel pulled out of it with the scale and the dead time. Now let's go look at our fuel density. Fuel main, we should have that option, right? Modeled density at 20. Okay, so this is our pump gas, and that's about right. So let's go to our multi-fuel, and we'll check our 825. That's about right too. Our pump gas at 20, I think, is a little lighter or a little heavier than 745. And I don't think I have fuel temp in here anyway, so. Oh, I might have fuel temp. Fuel temp, 23C. Okay. One, two, three zeros. I should have 4 zeros on this one. Or 1, 2, 3 with a 9. So I go up half of that. Gives me 2 zeros with a 1. I should have that here too. I do. Okay. So I get 9, 10. That's not necessarily accurate, but it's pretty close. That's where we are. Fuel density. Oh, base fuel pressure is 300. That'll affect it a little bit. Let me show you this. So part of the fuel model is knowing, how the engine responds to different fuels and how the fuel being introduced into the intake manifold or the ports or wherever it's being sprayed into affects the charge. So here we have, say I need to add a smidge to my ethanol. I think I have it at 1, so I put it at 109, which isn't a huge difference, but it's a difference nonetheless. It will make a difference. This tells us how much, there we go. The density of the fuel used changes the temperature, right? Or changes with temperature. And so as the fuel temp goes up or down, what is the slope of that fuel density on the temperature curve? Here we give it, so basically what we have here is we have the offset and the slope. If you were to graph the fuel density on a graph, the offset would be off of 0, so our starting point, our reference is going to be 20 degrees Celsius is our offset of 8250. And then the slope of the line from that point on, whether it's up or down, is this density coefficient that we got there. So that gives us a slope. Now this here, the fuel charge coefficient, this needs to be more for ethanol because ethanol will cool the charge a lot more than pump gas will. So that's one thing we need to adjust. Typically they're set at 10 for pump gas and C for gasoline, but we're going to have a lot more than that on ethanol. So on ethanol, I'm just going to say 15, which might be too much. It's 50% more than pump gas, but ethanol cools a lot. So we're going to put 15 in here. And we can mess with that during tuning and seeing what it does. I'm not going to do it today, though, because I don't have time for all that stuff. But that should be closer for our flex fuel stuff. I might lighten like 745. That might be light already because it's winter time too. Our winter here, we get shitty fuel. That's why it throws it all off. All right, that's enough of that for now. Last thing I want to check is my charge temp approximation table. I threw one in really quick, and it's a decent one. I prefer to do charge temp approximation based on air mass flow, like the mass flow rate through the engine, because that's what it depends on more. But if you look at this table is basically mass flow rate, essentially. So I have the pressure in the manifold and the RPM of the engine, right? So if the manifold pressure is this, then at this RPM, and I have a certain VU done by the V map, then I have an estimated mass already. So this table is essentially mass flow rate. But it's really easy to just do one graph, 2D axis, and do air mass flow, and then base it on that. That's pretty easy. Another time, imagine this level of detail while road tuning. Yeah, man, I don't recommend road tuning at all, right? except just for the purpose of trying to grab some data, and that's about it, though. I'm not a big road tuner. I don't believe in it. And there's so much you can't control with road tuning. Old ladies are one hurdle in road tuning for sure. Um, you have deer and tires blowing and cops and all that stuff, right? There's just so much with road tuning that honestly it just isn't safe to do. And to try and look at a laptop and look at I think it moves it all the way up here, and look at your thing, and I don't know, I'm not a fan of road tuning. It isn't something that I ever encourage or do. Like right now, for example, I got two hands on the keyboard. I'm doing 15 miles an hour, and I'm not holding the wheel, right? Like my hands are not on the wheel. And there's sometimes you can't do that, right? Sometimes you can't get away with that. This isn't that kind of dyno, but some you can't. It's not a good idea. This one, no problem. But here I am doing it, and you could never do that on the road, right? That would be a bad day. Let me go 270. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting a lower boost limit when the engine is cold and or hot, and then the full boost limit here. Now, this is one way of doing it. If this allows me to have two axes, which it does. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we're doing this. My favorite way of doing boost limit is not just a hard limit, because my boost target, there you go. That is what I want. Now, I could do it based on ethanol concentration, which is the same thing. My boost target changes with ethanol concentration, so I go the same way. But why not just have it on boost target, like from the get-go? There we go. Okay. So now the idea is, I'm just going to take this. I'm just going to go all the way down with it. Bloop. Okay. So if my boost target is 250, then the boost limit's going to be 270. That makes sense, right? That's a few PSI over my target. Now down here, we're going to go, if my boost target when it's warm, I have to change it when it's cold, right? If I go down to below 100, then when someone goes to drive it, then they're going to be really upset. And also, is this boost target absolute or relative? I'll have to log that and see which one that is. If it's relative or absolute. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 165 across the board right there. And then we're going to see what wastegate pressure gives us on this turbo. And I'm just going to go like this. I do that for now. And that way, you see I got 240 over 220, 250 over 230. All right, that's pretty good. I probably should have just done the same 20 over like I did with the other ones. 170 or 20 over like that. All right. Now, I get a boost cut. My boost control system isn't working right. Like, that's pretty important, I think, Hey, great. My boost didn't go over, 270, but I was on pump gas. I wasn't on ethanol, and my target was only 200, right? Well, maybe 250 at that point is bad news, and I don't want it to happen. So at least this way, if my boost control system isn't working correctly, then my boost targets or boost limit can help get that for me. All right, so boost I had turned off because it was the break-in map. So we're going to go closed loop. To 0, no, because I think I pre-populated everything already with where I want it to be. Yeah, okay. Let's give it a second to load in. There we go. All right, so stage 1 on 5. Hysteresis, no delay. I don't want a delay. No DC clamp, no DC clamp. Right now, we're going to set our max at 50. Oh, yeah, because I got stage 1 there, so I'll set stage 1 at 45. Just for now, proportional integral drive looks decent. Integral clamp, we're going to give it 8% either way, like that. PWM output, yeah, I should already have an output on that. I think it's aux 6 on this car. I'll find out. If it doesn't make boost, then it was wrong. Okay, And then actually, so I'm gonna go open loop first. Open loop it, and I'm gonna go to my wastegate duty. Use control wastegate duty 1 active. I'm gonna go 0. We're gonna do 0. I'm gonna add it and go to 15 and see if boost goes up. And then I know I'm on the right output or not. I'm gonna change the speed limit. I'm not gonna do a pull. I'm just gonna get into boost at a spot. All right. Way too much fuel. Sounds like. Oh, that's my limit because I didn't set the boost target. Even though I went open. Since my target is 170 and I'm hitting 170 and I don't have a target, well, that's my problem. Here, I thought I was being clever. We'll do this differently. We're going to go like this. Why did that change? Go back. We're going to go like this. Close loop. Let it load. No, 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 don't. Why do you ask me every fucking time? I don't want, no, 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 no. Okay. Let it load. Let it load. Let it eventually load. Come on, Link. I do this shit all the time. See, none of my stuff's here. My biggest issues with Link is the software. It is so buggy and slow. It's so slow. Like, it just, you go to click like an axis and you wait. You click that, like I clicked no, and I'm waiting. And where'd all my boost stuff go? Back to PID. I want stage 2. I want stage 3. And I for that to load in. Let's go back to here again. All right, that was all the same page earlier. You saw that, right? All right. Oh, because I was on this tab right here. That's why. Okay. All right, so we're going to do this differently. We're going to go minimum duty is 0, maximum duty is 0. It's going to give an error. Stage 3 must be whatever. So here you go, 0, like that. All right, so we're going to do 0, and then our boost target. Let's go to that. Boost target table. We're going to set this. Little lever open. What the hell's going on here? Let's try this again. Boost target. There it is. Boost target. Boost target. Okay. Fuck me, I guess. Let's go to fuel tune. Click boost target. Hey, here we go. This boost map. All right. Jesus Louise. Why is the boost target based on map? That's not. Should be based on TPS. Okay. There we go. Boost target is now 200. Should be based on TPS, not that. That seems weird. I will change that in a second. That's when I see if they got the damn solenoid working right. $170. All right. 170 is what we hit. So now we're gonna go to stage 1 duty. Set to 15. Yeah, I know. Thank you very much. Oh my God. Like you adjust one, it goes, oh, it's got to be higher than this one. Adjust the other one, oh, it's got to be different than this one. It's just annoying. All right, 15. We're going minimum 15, and there we go. Now let's see if boost goes up. 175. I might hit this. Say it's too higher than that. Yeah, stupid. 25. 25. Yeah, I know. Thank you. 25. There we go. Okay. So we're definitely on the right output. Perfect. Stage 1 duty, 9. Jesus fuck. Like, I just want to go down the sheet. You know what I mean? Like, just want to do it from the top and go down. But you can't. You got to go down below it, then go back up again. It's just like stupid bullshit, like I said, with some of these programs. Okay. There's target 2. Hey, it's a target map. I actually came at that time. Look at that. Okay. I don't know why the boost target would be based on map sensor pressure. That seems weird to me. I don't want my boost based on boost. It doesn't make any freaking sense. So we got this. TPS. Look at that. See how long it says a search? Just sits there and stutters. It just did T. Now then it had to do P. Then it's doing S. You click it and you wait. And then you click it and you wait. That's my issue with the software. Okay, ethanol targets. We're gonna be mid-20s. I'll just set this for now. And then, like I said, I think this is absolute, not gauge. So we're just gonna go like this really quick. And then this is gonna be a 125-ish. Oops. Like that. Taper that to here. And then we'll actually keep this here. 100. We'll do this. Bloop. Oh, actually. Up. And then up. That. That's how we'll start that. Based on the turbo's response, we'll adjust the shape of that curve. Boost target 1. Back to. Really? Like, you just don't want to show me boost target graph? Come on now. Show me some boost. Show me the table. Hey, there we go. All right. Axes. Actually, I bet I can just do this. Export to clipboard. Import from clipboard. Look at that. All right. Cool. Now, since the beginning of the tune, we're going to set this at 200. 200, like so. And I'm just going to leave that alone like that for now. Until we get that area worked out. Okay. Cool. Now for wastegate duty cycle. Wastegate here, they got based on throttle again, and I don't like that because it doesn't make sense. So I want my wastegate to be based off my boost target. Because again, how much duty cycle I need depends on my target, not just my throttle. And since my target boost is based on throttle position and ethanol, then target boost makes more sense. Technically, if you do it, you can even set your target boost based on ethanol without the sliding scale maps. Then you could just have one table altogether. The issue with that is ethanol is very heavy, right? It has more mass, and you use more of it, and it 15. It makes turbo spool faster, so you need less duty cycle for the same boost target on ethanol than you would on pump gas. So it does help to actually have two different maps based on what fuel you're using, and since we have two targets based on fuel, it doesn't hurt to do it this way. I actually recommend it, honestly. Because now for the same 200, for example, it could very well require 5% less duty cycle to hit that target than it would on pump gas. Now, on pump gas, I'm never going to target 250, which I think I have set here at the bottom. 250, I'm never targeting on pump gas. Well, I might, but initially I'm not. And so I could leave my duty cycle flat up here, right? Target goes 250, but I'm on pump gas. I don't want to be 250. For some reason, something happens and I miss something. Then this will give me some protection too, because it won't make it actually actively shoot for 250. Um, and could potentially, it's basically another form of protection, right? Helping my motor out. All right, what's up? Man, having a hard time imagining you have thoughts on lean spool. Um, yeah, Mitsubishi used lean spool, but you can't really lean spool an EJ too well. The issue with EJs and lean spool is EJs, I've talked about this a lot at streams, and maybe you've heard me say it, and you'll go, oh, that's what he's talking about. EJs have a narrow flammability window. That's one thing, right? They just don't have a wide AFR that they can operate in. And that narrow window, later Alpha, that narrow window, it's not really a big deal in spool. Let me think about the answer a little bit. Let me think about that. In the meantime, I'm going to do a short wastegate duty cycle pull. Clear this, put up my parameters on the dyno. Okay. I set wastegate duty cycle, but I have it set as a high minimum still. I need to go back and do that again. I'll see if I hit max. Then I can do this one first. Then I gotta do this one. There we go. Okay, so we'll do this first. We'll do the pull based on wastegate duty cycle, or zero wastegate duty cycle. All right, pretty rich, which is what I want. I was watching that. I wasn't watching it on this screen here. I was watching it on the dyno. That's why you may see my head turns. Boost was steady and flat like you'd expect with an external on a 20 with a fixed duty cycle of 0. So boost is like exactly 12-ish on the dyno. Looks like a tabletop. AFR, I got a 11.5 down to 10.5, back to 11, then down to 10.0, and richer on the very top end. So over 6 is too rich. The other spots just need a little love, but that's expected. And also cam timing changes will affect that as well. So I'll review those in a minute. All right, so that was good. It was rich, and now I have a AFR plot, thankfully, on the rich side. I would let out if it was lean. You can see the plot here now on this screen. We'll see if it matches. You see it's below target. It's rich, a smidge, goes to target, and then richens and richens and richens and richens and richens, while my closed loop system is trying to lean it out. Now, I don't have much authority on the closed loop system. As you can see, it only went to -7 in the duration of the pull. And that's kind of slow response. So I'll definitely improve the closed loop strategy some to let it do more. But right now I can look at it and I see that my target was 7.8 lambda. I got 7.18 lambda. So that's a difference of 6.2%. Plus I have 7.3 pulled out too. So I have 13% too much fuel at this load cell. So I'll go to the fuel map and I'll look at this load cell and I'll know that I have 13% too much fuel, which isn't a huge surprise with as much fuel as I got it set here. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to say times 0. I said 13, right? I don't want to do the whole 13. I'm just going to do 10. Yeah, I'll do 10. So I'll do 10. All right, I'm going to take this. I'm going to blend it down this direction. That's reasonable. And I'm going to pull this down too. I'll make this one 20-ish, like that. Go like this. Okay, now I look at this trend, and I'll look at my another spot. And then I can start connecting some dots to get a general idea what the VE curve would look like on it. So right here, you see we're really close. I'm within 3% there, and it's pulling 5, so I'm 8% off total. I do want to check one thing. Let me check those cams again. I said I want to check cams. I didn't do it. So cams are pretty high at 30, which is great. And then the cams start to taper right at 55-ish, 5,055. And that's the same time the air fuel ratio starts to dive towards lean or rich, isn't it? Let's see. It's richer here than interesting. That bump is at 52 on my dyno. The bump is at 64 here. I didn't set the tack on the dyno. That's why I went to $8,000 on here. The dyno says I went to 67. I forgot to set the tack on the dyno. That's why they don't agree. Okay, so again, let's see. Timing started to fall down. Ignition timing, that is, or cam timing started to taper down. It got a little rich here, which means it got rich here. I might need to pull some cam timing out there if I have too much overlap, but I got a lot of VE there too. So that's kind of the balance you got to figure out, right? Like, when is my cam timing going to be perfect? One method is you set it at like 30 across the board, do a pull, then set it at 10 across the board and do a pull, or 20, and then set it at 10 across the board and do a pull, and then see where the air fuels on those are the leanest, and that's the most airflow, and then hit that cam timing at those lean points, and then adjust your VE to nail it down. You should also have your VE be pretty stable, pretty flat at that area. So now look at this, we got a big dent taken out, which is fine because if you look down here, this ramps up a lot. I got a big steep ramp in here because it was a break-in map, and the dude didn't have boost allowed up there anyways, but I didn't want, in case something happened, it to all of a sudden run lean as heck and do that. So we're going to take this, and we're just going to go the other direction, out the wrong way, and then I'm going to go up to that like that, come back down, now that I can see it, hit that guy, and then we're going to go like this. I'm going to blend some of this in real quick, and then we'll verify some of those points. Just want to get this a little closer to where it should be. Now this thing with these cams should really be singing. With the highest VE on this thing should probably be in the 65 to 7 range with these cams in it. But the turbo itself could hurt the VE by having too much back pressure. I said back pressure weird. That was a weird way of saying back pressure. I'm not sure why. Back pressure. I think that's a very Australian way of saying it, actually. And I think that's the way they would say it. With the emphasis on the, like when they say weekend, there's a lot of emphasis on the end portion of the word. Back pressure. I should have said pressure more. That's not more Australian. Right, Hyphen? Hyphen's Australian. He's in the chat. All right, I'm just shaping this a smidge based on where I think the cams will be the most efficient, and then we'll tweak it again after the next pull. All right, so that and this spot here, I need to calm that down a smidge. This little spiky spike right here, we'll adjust that. Like this. All right, let's hit some of the spots again. See what we got. Oh, double check my cam timing. We're down to 0 by 74. That might be late. That might be late. I might need to drop it sooner than that. I do need to calibrate the tack on the dyno. Let's do that first. Because if I don't drop it soon enough, high back pressure results in low VE. And we obviously don't want low VE. If I drop it too soon, same problem. You drop it too soon, you get low VE in the areas where it's too soon. You drop it too late, you get low VE in the areas where the excessive back pressure pushed into the intake manifold. So, okay, 45.50 looks like. I had it set for 45.5. I had it set for an STI, USDM 15 STI, so it was totally wrong. Alright. Check the chat really quick. Nails are clean. They're short. There's a little bit of dirt in them because I reached under a greasy ass car earlier. Your old man. Thanks, man. Hey, Anton. Hey, Miss Physical. How you guys doing? I'm gonna do another little pull here. Let's see how those VE changes match our map. Okay, I actually pulled too much fuel out of one area on the bottom end, but the top end, much improved. Much flatter. So let's see if our log agrees with that on this computer here. So we see right here, it's a little lean right there. I pulled a little too much out right there. This spot, it's adding 2%. Really close to target though. This spot a little richer than target by just a few percent. Here, closer. Here, a few percent. So that's good. We're getting close already. That's good news. So let's address the area pulled too much out. Let's go to this zone. See where that was. Right there. Interesting. I'm surprised by that. See where our cam time looks like right there. Cam timing just starts to dip right there too. And it stays for a while. This is actually, the dyno held it right here for a while. Nice and stabilized load and everything, which you see it did fine. Then it went through the pole. Cam timing started dropping. Everything was good there. Look at the horsepower curve and see what the power looks like. Oh, let me double check the timing. This should have my really conservative time map on it. Yeah. For a 207 at this low boost, 19 at 7,000 RPM, at just over 10 pounds, I think we're doing okay. But the reason I wanted to check that is I want to make sure that any dip in power isn't from just not having enough timing on it, you know? Okay. Okay, power was increasing continuously. Oh, this is interesting. That says I went 7250. What does it say I went to? 7065. Okay, so dyno cal's off just a smidge. It says it held it at 4. It held it at 39.38. So it's off just a teeny little bit, and that's totally fine. Power, like it says, increasing the red line, boost is completely flat. There's a little dip in power. It's 55, actually. So I might have cut the cams back too soon, because that dip in power is right at 55. So 55 is here. Cams are coming back. Air-fuel ratio is richer there, okay, which would coincide with the cams being too far too soon, right? If I pull them back too soon, it would go rich because it didn't get enough air. So I'm going to just add, I want to make that zone here 30. And then I'm going to go to that spot where I pulled too much out. I'm going to leave that zone alone otherwise. I'm not going to change anything else right there. And I'm going to adjust the spot on the fuel map to add some to it. It's weird that it's that high. That VE number seems a bit high to me. I guess it's just ripping. I guess everything is just happy right there. Okay. Try that. I'm not going to adjust anything else. Look at everything else the same and see if those two adjustments made a difference in those 2 points. See if power goes up at 55, and see if the fuel leans out some at 55. If it doesn't, go the other way. And I hit the log button 4 times, nothing happened. Oh, thankfully it still worked though. All right, power change 0 at 55. I got no effect here on the dyno. It's rich still, right there. Okay, so it didn't care about the 5 degrees of timing. And honestly, it's 55, so I'm gonna pull it back down. I'm gonna take it to 20. We'll go the other direction, like I said before. I'm gonna take this 5 and put this at 25, like that. And then 0 by 8. This turbo's probably gonna have a lot of back pressure by then. I'm gonna lower this down some. I'll make it 0 by 7. And then see what kind of response we get. No other changes. Oh, I should probably also check that. Should turn that on too before we start adding boost to it and stuff. Let's save this. On. Run out of time. 4 to 10K wideband is not going to be a good deal for this car. This car will be very upset if we do it not that low. We're going to want it around 9 to somewhere between 9 and 13 with a 2-liter. Windows start 10 after ignition. That's a little early on this car. This car we're going to want almost 20 after ignition. I'm going to do less than 15 after ignition. Window length, I only need about 40 degrees at the most, or 45 degrees at the most. I don't need it at idle. I don't want it to happen at these low spots when I just tip in. It's not going to do it. Knock's not going to happen any higher than 6,500. This engine's moving too fast for that. TBS Delta, we want this to be at 35. One's a little high, but no turbo. Let's say 4 for now. Negative 4 for now. Advance rate. I like about a 1/4 degree. Like so. Normal. I need to see what engine noise is there, but I think 10 hertz is going to be where I want to filter it. I gotta pee. So these thresholds are based on that low of a number. The change of the normalizing thing. It used to be based on how much are you doing? Oh no. Nope, I gotta get a lot of other stuff ironed out before I get that. I'm not even doing a pump yet.
Pretty good for
11 pounds.
Wastegate.
Yeah, it's all I'm at right now. I want to get the knock system all set up before I start adding boost and stuff to it.
Cool.
Why is it based on TPS? I don't understand that link. I don't like it. I mean, obviously they probably know something I don't, but I just don't understand why so many maps are based on TPS. They should be based on RPM and load. Oh, I forget what that one is. Let's go to configuration real quick. Remember engine cycles. I think we're going to go 5. Start. We can start at 0 for those. For now, until we get something going on. Alright. Save it there for now. Different levels of a game apply to the ignition, retard, and refueling rate, depending on how much larger the current knock level is than the threshold. Oh, this isn't the push cylinder one. Alright. Alright, save that. See how much engine noise we got. See what the threshold supposed to be. Okay, 2s and revs. So my 12 is definitely high. So I'm getting a 2. Yeah, 1 to 2 in that range right there. Slow this down. Okay. think I need to turn the gain up. I think I need to turn the gain up on the knock sensor. It's a little quiet. Delay, turn gain. I don't see a sensor gain on here anymore. My filter level might be too close to my knock sensor. I got it at 12, so this might be too close too. So I'll have to see what other ranges I get for noise. But in the meantime, let's see if those changes made a difference over here. It's exactly the same. Pretty much the same air-fuel ratio at 55 as before. Oh, 50. 5 is at 4. It actually looks like it might have started going rich a little earlier, which means that it probably didn't like me pulling the cam timing out at 5 like I did. But wherever else looks, it seems to be pretty good. So yeah, pulling it out at 5 might have been too premature because it went a little richer in that zone where I pulled it out. So I'm going to put back to 30 right there. Like so. All right. Okay, let's break the log. Let's see what else we can adjust in our VE table. So right here we're looking at, I had 1% lambda being added to it. Actually, that must have got it from right here. From here still. So it added to this whole range right here, about 2%. So 2% from this point to the left. So still in this range where it pulled some before to here. So we're going to go 1.02%, like that. Now this is a big jump right here. So I definitely want to hit this zone and see if the 90's wrong or if the 100's wrong, because there's no reason that VE would jump 10 points in that spot. So we're going to go back to that zone on 3,500. So I'm going to set the speed at 60 on this dyno and hit that again and see which one of those is wrong. It's probably lower than 60, probably 45. There. So you see that's too much there. So the 100's too much. Let's go like this. Okay, and then we'll check it further in. So about 6% too much right there. And this is only a couple percent right here. Okay. Down a gear. Too lean here. Okay. That's that sweet spot right around $4,000. These motors just flow. It's usually around $4,000. They really get to move some air.
Another pull soon?
Yep.
Right now?
Yep.
Sweet.
Okay. See if that helps. Okay, this spot's all a little closer. That one needs a tiny bit more fuel. That's actually probably from this trend right here. That spot's looking closer. That spot's looking closer. That spot's I didn't touch, so I'm gonna work on that. So this spot here, what do we got? Still 6% plus 2, so about 8%. I'll start with 6. I like to leave it a couple percent on the rich side. And like it doesn't hurt. These use like, hey, you've got too much fuel in me by 2%. Not worried about it. Just not worried about it. That's great because that helps compensate for all sorts of whoopsies or other problems that happen. So we're gonna leave it a couple percent rich. Like so. Okay. So we can look at it and see that all the way back here, it was still pulling 1%. Oh, 65 might pull too much out right there. Let's go back to that zone. Right on that threshold. Just add a smidge back to it. Okay. Okay. Looking good. I'm also going to increase my closed loop control now so I can get faster. Update rate I have set at 5 to 6 times a second. Let's take that 8. Get that 8 times a second in there. So lots of updates. And then we'll add some gain to it. Let's go 8 to here. About that. Actually, let's make this just a little bit more. That might be too active. We'll find out in a second. Max 36? Wow, I didn't like that it fucking kicked out so fast. Oh, that was probably the map lockout. Let's do that. See if that stops it. I don't know if you saw that or not. The thing went out of closed loop and I went to accelerate some. There we go. That's better. The map change made it leave closed loop, and I don't want to do that. That's not this car. That's a log from a while back. That's from the other car. I closed all my log files. There we go. I'm actually going to add a little bit of timing right now to the upper end. They don't have it. Let's see. 16. I'll leave it on for now. So the dyno's doing this really weird thing where it's loading the car unevenly because this car doesn't have a diff controller. So I think that the wheel speeds, it's having an issue with the wheel speeds. You hear it kind of go, whoa, as it's coming up. And I think the two rollers are going different speeds. It does okay once it grabs. There's a little bit of disparity between the two, but only a few miles an hour. So that's good. All right, I'm almost to where I can start adding more fuel, but I'm still rich up top. And that one was a lot richer for some reason. That one went a lot richer. 7.3. I went to a higher RPM than I went to before, so that would definitely affect it. And it might want some cam timing on the top. Usually they don't, but at this low of a boost, it might. It might be happy with 5 or so degrees right here. And then when I start cranking the boost up, it won't want that. I got a little step, a little wiggle right here too. I'm going to smooth that out. So we showed that 20 was good here. Let's just make it a straight line right there. And then we'll do this. And then we'll do this. Like so. Okay. And then we're going to go back to that spot. We're still going to pull some fuel out because it's just too much. And that makes sense. 113 is too much. It shouldn't be 113 there, I don't think. Fuck, but it's 116 before it. Boy, it really likes the zone. I don't know why it likes that zone so much. Well, things will get interesting when we start adding boost for sure. All right, let's go back to fuel. So right here. Man, it still seems weird for it to want to lose that much fuel up there. And they're not ported heads, they're just 207 with cams. And the Kelford BEs aren't huge, but this drop in VE is surprising to me. But it is a stock location turbo. It's not a rotated turbo or by any means, so oops, too far. So I shouldn't be totally blown away. Okay. And then my timing is probably super low. 21. Yeah, that's pretty damn low. That is pretty low for 10 pounds on a 207. 207s love some timing. So I'm going to add some timing to this thing. Across the board on the top end here. Or that here, I'm going to add, what's this going to be? Why does it do that? That's half a degree. Okay, so I'm going to go that. Like this. What is going on? I didn't hit any of those buttons. What is that? Holy crap. Okay. Let me go like this. I'm going to add a couple here, a couple here, like that. All right. She went lean that time. She went lean that time. It added a lot of lean to it. You pulled fuel out right there. Any extra engine noise? Oh, it's outside the range anyways. Wouldn't have happened at 7 grand. How was the cam timing? Yeah, it was 8 there. Boy, it liked it. It leaned it out quite a bit. This area here is 4% rich. Yeah, 4% rich through there. I'm fine with that. And then right here is lean by almost 4%. Okay. Oh, and this still is pulling fuel from a previous spot. So it really doesn't need to do that. It just needs me to add fuel right here. Right here. It needs me to add about 2%. So we've got 57, fuel tune. Yeah, see, these numbers are big right here. It really is enjoying right here. Oh, I should probably check fuel pressure. Let's make sure we don't have any issues with that. Doesn't look like we are, but I'm not looking at it.
I think I figured out the blue FA20WX.
Yeah, what'd you find?
The OBD2 port has been tapped into for an aftermarket alarm.
Yeah, that's what I told them before to check.
Yep. It's got a bared wire. The wire's stripped up from the OBD2 port like this far.
Jesus.
It's split in half. A wire's poked in and then wrapped around it. Then it was just the whole lump of wires was taped up.
Nice.
This is the best install I've seen so far. It is.
Yeah?
They get way worse. There's also about 300 yards of 10-strand wire under there.
It's going where?
Fucking stupid.
Yeah.
When it all needs to be about this long in total, all of it.
This car has a fuel pressure sensor, right?
What's that?
This car has a fuel pressure sensor, right?
I have no idea what Tanner did.
I thought it did. Yeah, because I was checking earlier. I was revving it. It was giving me that. But why is my...
Sounds like it's ripping, though.
Yeah, I'm only at 12 pounds right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely working.
I like it.
But is my fuel pressure that good? I don't know. This differential fuel pressure says it's flat 300. But that seems weird to me. That there should be some ripple in there, right? Like, fuel pressure should have ripple in there. So I'm wondering if it's not correct. Are you done? Fuel pressure. Okay. Wow, it's really flat. Look at that. That's a tiny, tiny, tiny ripple. That is really impressive, actually. The regulator's doing good. I love Ford regulators, man. Ford regulators are just so fucking good. Look at that. Look at this. The fuel pressure drops exactly with manifold pressure, and differential pressure stays almost exactly the same. These Ford regulators kick ass. They just kick ass. Might add fuel there. Fuck it. All right, let's add some boost. Enough fucking around with wastegate pressure. Let's add some boost. Okay, boost target's still 200. We're not there yet. I'm gonna go a little higher than that though. I'm gonna go. Before I do that, let's just blog again. Boost target 205. Okay, I want to make sure it was absolute because sometimes some things go absolute, some go relative, and you go put in 300, and you're like, oh, that seems weird, but it's only 200 it's 200 relative, 300 absolute, and then it goes for 300 relative, and you're like, oh fuck, don't want that. Okay, I got a whiz, honey. Hello, how's it going? I'm okay. That's good because I won't be ready at 3. So that's good. I like that. Okay, that sounds great. 22. Yeah, they're sitting next to me. All right. I mean, I forgot them when they were in my hand yesterday, so sitting next to me probably didn't help any. Although, actually, I don't know where they went. They were next to me. Oh, there they are on the floor. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. I gotta take a leak. I'm streaming, and I gotta get this tune done. I love you. Bye, honey. Ooh, gotta be. Pick up this microphone before I do that. So you don't my week. My week prostate stream. And I had to wee so bad. My watch registered it as a workout. All right, let's add some boost. Okay, so add some whiskey to do cycle. Let's see how it goes. Oh, I got some messages on here. Look, just Kiwi, no Aussies. Oh, okay, gotcha. Happy New Year. Okay, this is last stream for this year. It probably is. It's 20G leftover for 207. Not 9 grand it ain't, but you know. What's up? Hope you had a good holiday. It was awesome. I got to see my daughter. I haven't seen her forever, so it was a great Christmas time period and the whole thing. Really good. Cried a lot. Cried too much, but it was happy tears, so it was good. Seats look like 0203. Yep, it is a bug eye. Now I get why Dyna is so much better. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we got to do, that to really get it like dialed in. So see you, Travis. As you were here and gone. This is the Kelford Bees. Yep. These are what V20 or what are they called? V2 199-B. I think is what the 207s use. All right, let's see how much boost this adds. Hopefully not too much. Quite the opposite. Not enough. Or none. Air fuel's fucking money though. Is it running? It's running. Ah, it's so quiet I can't hear it. So air fuels were way better. Looking at the dyno plot. Look at that. Right on here. It's a little smidge rich right there. But it's money through here, so I like that. Okay. So that's good news. I can add some right here. Let me get that spot real quick. Hold on here. Let's find that. This is that spot I worked on earlier. It just really likes being stubborn right there. I have a feeling it's going to be more about the cam timing. Let me hit this spot right here, actually, because it goes diagonal through that zone right there. Add a smidge there and right there. Whew, man, I feel so much better. Yeah, airfills are flat now, right through that zone, so that's good news. Boost didn't go up at all, though, which is really weird, because I guess swore we just checked that earlier. See what the general log says for our wastegate duty. Actually, let's go to boost. Go to boost. Wastegate duty cycle is still 0 because I still have it capped at 0. That will do it. This will be your minimum. It's so annoying. I gotta go down here. Then I gotta go up here. Then I gotta go right down here. That's 0. I'm gonna do that. Okay. We'll try it again. Now that I let it add boost, it should store this. Hear that? All right. So what I got right there is those oscillations are from the PID being incorrect. Too aggressive, most likely. The link-based PID systems are often very aggressive. And so if we look down here, we can see that, yes, integral was adding 8% almost instantly. That is way too much integral, way too fast. And then I see that, I realize my error, 0.02, is about where we should start right there. The derivative was really weak, honestly. That surprises me. The derivative didn't do shit. But I don't think derivative does anything technically until it gets to stage 3. And I don't think it got to stage 3. Oh, stage 3? Yes, it's stage 3. So derivative didn't do jack. So let's bump that up like that. And let's knock the proportional down because that actually is a little too much too. We'll say 0.5. We'll try that. That might not be enough, but we can see that through these PID controls that, man, that wastegate duty cycle is jumping a lot. Now, it went from 33 to 17 to create that oscillation. It seemed like a big oscillation for only that much duty cycle and for being so low in duty cycle. That kind of sucks. Sometimes that means like the system is too sensitive, and then we got to change the way the springs are done or the actuator preload or whatever. So we'll see. This might be better. Should have waited for a second. All right, so you heard it go for a second, like that. So we overshot our target, and the system was like, whoa, and then tried to correct. What's really cool about that is the rest of the system immediately went and corrected it. This screen is really, really small. So I'm going to go to the general and see if I can get the manifold pressure on here a little better so you can see what it looks like. I want to do this. I know you guys can't see jack. Later, sweetie. Oh, my friend. Yeah. Hey, I love my wife. So, love my wife. There's, you can't shame me because there's no shame to be had. We're that annoying couple that everyone hates, but also the same couple that everyone wants to be like because we are so loving and caring and lovey-dovey and affectionate and all those wonderful things. So, suck it. Okay, so right here. Now, we can see that we went from stage 1 to 2 pretty quick, or really close to the spike. So what I need to do is increase the distance between that transition. Right? Let's double check that I said stage 1 and 2 correctly. Stage 3. Oh, no, stage 3 we're going to do. So from 2 to 3. Oh, we blew right through stage 2. Let's see. Stage 1. Yeah, blew right through stage 2. Okay. So we'll do 15 here. And 3 might need to be 5. Let's go to configuration. I forget. Link tells you, and Link's base setup for this is pretty darn good for the stages. Stage 3 hysteresis, they say 15. I got it 5. Okay. And then stage 3 on, they say 15. That's usually pretty good. They say 5 for this, right? Oh, 50. Oh, that's why. That's why I blew right through it so fast. I'm going to go 40. Let's see if that'll help us catch that spike. That alone might be enough because the PID scheme did pretty good. Considering that it went from 90 to 17 and the spike went up and then stabilized, those PID settings are pretty close. They're a lot closer. And also that previous oscillation could have been made worse by the fact that the stage 2, or it went direct from stage 1 to stage 3. So we'll mess with that a little bit. But otherwise, let's check fuel. Fuel, I think, is rich as bizols. Timing is conservative. Here we are. I got 11 degrees and 18 degrees, so quite a bit conservative on the timing, which is good because this is the pump gas side. We don't need to go ham on the timing with pump gas. But here we got a lot of fuel right here in this zone. Yeah, it's a lot of fuel. So more than 6% rich there. Looks more than that. The dyno looks more than 6%, but it's 6%. So let's go to fuel. Now, what you'll notice here is that we were previously just in this zone right here, and it was 113, and now we're going to 117 at higher boost, but wait a second, we're really, really rich. Why is that? Well, it's because a lot of people don't realize is that you lose VE after a point. After a point, VE starts to go down. VE starts to go down. I'm going to go right here. Because exhaust pressure starts going up, and you got to move the cams back and a bunch of other stuff, like I was saying before. So we actually lose some VE as you're going up. But you'll see this map, it shows the VE going up continuously. That's because initially we want to make sure that we don't run it lean, go into a zone where the VE was really positive, and then run it lean or not. So it starts off with a lot of VE above our target set point, and then I drop down slowly. As you saw, I dropped it down some here, but still higher because we don't know what it's going to do up there. And so I'd rather be rich there than lean there. But yeah, VE drops when when back pressure goes up. Here's 4 plus 4, so that's 8% rich right there. And that's 8% rich right there as well. So we are 8% rich from that zone to that zone. So we'll do that. We'll pull 8 right out of it. Like that. Like that. And we'll try that boost level again. I'm gonna add some timing this time though. I'm ready for some more timing up there. That was right at 16 pounds on the dyno, and 15 degrees on a 207 at 16 pounds at 6,500. That ain't much. So we're gonna add right here, like that. All we're gonna be doing here is reducing the slope. Is what I'm planning on doing this. You see, it's got a big old slope coming off right here. And so we're just going to reduce the slope with load. This is a bunch. Here's a pound and a half, and I've already got a degree and change coming out of it, another pound and a degree. I mean, that puts us down in single digits, at 6,000 RPM. That's not a lot of timing, but this is the pump gas side of the map. This is the safe side of the map, and we're going to try and keep it safe. So that's why that's like that. I'm going to do this. Let's drop the smidge there. It's okay. It's more overall. My watch just keeps going off. Oh, it's the ring. My wife's probably packing the car, getting ready. All right, let's see if that boost responds better now. If we approach that target a little easier. I don't know if you heard that, but it sounded great. I mean, we went right to our target. No problem at all. Yeah, right to the target. There was no overshoot. There was nothing. Interestingly enough, the audio sounded like it started to really pour the power on after the pole started, like boost went up more, and it didn't. I think it's just that the timing advanced so much more in those higher RPMs because I turned the timing way down in the lower RPMs. Let's see. Here we are at 12 degrees at 3 and 4, 13 and 4, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21-ish, 21 by, I took it to 8 grand that time because it was happy. And Wastegate duty cycle was pretty stable. Look at that. It popped right in and just controlled boost really well. Super happy with that. Fuel pressure. Let's look at fuel pressure. I don't know if you, like I said, you guys probably can't see shit because this screen's so small for you. I apologize for that. Fuel pressure's really good. Really, really good. Like I said, these 4 regulators kick ass. They just kick ass. That's all there is to it. Okay. So that sounded amazing. The power was a lot higher, it seemed. So now it's at. Oh yeah, a lot more. 350 wheel on that pole, and it was like 320 the last one. And that was the same boost as the last pole. I just fixed some stuff. I fixed the fuel up top and had some timing. So it obviously was conservative on the timing because it picked up 30 wheel horsepower with like, what I put like 1.5 degrees in it, maybe 2 degrees up top. So that's really good. I still got some rich dip from 5 to 65 showing on the dyno. And looks like it's rich on here too. From 5 to 65. Yeah, 47 here. So got 5 to 62. So from 47 to 62, she's still pretty rich, but it was adding fuel here. They pulled it back a bit. That's 5% there. Yeah, so just too much. So just rich. And that's that spot where I just kind of smoothed it instead of going with a sharper drop. Man, let's look at that cam timing real quick. Where are we at right there? It's just starting to fall off on the cam timing. Oh, it's making me think like it wants a little more. Let's make it the same as that previous cell. Let's see what we get. It might have wanted just a little bit of timing right there. Or that can make it richer. One way or the other. But that's pretty fucking legitimate right there. I like it. In 350 wheel on our dyno, and yeah, 350 wheel on pump gas on a 20G with a top mount on our dyno. That's really saying something. That's pretty damn good. It does quite well, and it doesn't sound like it. I should really start the pull earlier, honestly, because I start the pull at 4,000, and it's already at full boost by then. So I'm gonna do the pull next one a little earlier, and see if we can get it to not be right where it is. Let's go down to 5 miles an hour. See if I can get some of the more of the spool to happen during the pull or during the initial loading phase. I'm really happy with that though. That looks really good. Last pull was good. All right, so by starting it later, the dyno doesn't load. It doesn't hold and load quite right, so the turbo definitely came in later on that one. The thing about these dynos, this one in particular, is if you load it in 4th gear late, like if you load it, well, I mean late, I mean too little, too early. So if you start the pull, how do I explain this? Okay, this dyno works by taking the car to a point, then it holds it. And it holds it there, it says, oh, I need this much load to hold it. And then it lets it go. But it based on how much load it measured, then it lets it go to control the ramp rate. Now the problem is if you're not in boost when that happens, that initial loading is lower. So 4th gear at the beginning of the pull will load as if it was in like 2nd, right? And that's not ideal. It loads like a 2nd or 3rd. And as the boost comes in, then it goes, oh shit, and then it starts to apply a load, and then it loads it like 4th gear to the top. So you start off with like 2nd, 3rd, and then 4th gear in one pull, which isn't ideal. So what I typically do is load it a smidge later, where the turbo is really going to react quickly. So at 4 grand on those previous pulls, I was starting at 4 grand and it was hitting boost before it even finished loading. Before it even finished establishing its initial load value, it was already at full boost. So that there loads more like 4th gear, but I can't load it like 4th gear would load unless I take the speed and drop it super low to where like each pull would take like 30 seconds through just one gear pull, which can be really bad with this little airflow. So it's an awesome dyno, but it's still not perfect. And that's where having rollers, heavier rollers, comes into play. It really help out a lot. Is in that loading, because the weight of the car is already on the rollers. The weight of the rollers is putting load on the car as if the car was on the road, and you can get a little better, or more realistic load out of it. Well, look at this, right here, this little 35. That's what clip in right there. Is that where that's at? That's the 30. Oh, this is 27 right here. Okay. So let's fix that. Like that. Like so. There we go. Okay. And then I thought a rich spot at 55. So 55 is right here. Still a little rich. It's less rich, but it's rich. Man, I think I might pull back down again. I think I'm gonna go down five degrees. Look at it. See what she gives me. I just feel like that's too much overlap right there at this higher boost level. See what the fuel does there. So right now, this last pull, I was 4% rich. So we'll see what this next pull does. No other change other than those 5 degrees right there. We'll see what this pull does. For my fueling, so I'm still rich there. 5% didn't do shit. 5 degrees didn't do shit. It's still exactly 4% rich there. So 5 degrees is not enough. If it's a cam timing thing, 5 degrees wasn't enough to determine that. So, I mean, since we're at full boost, I can pull 5 more out of it and see what she does. Let's see what we get. Let's see if she richens or leans on us. Okay, 5 more. Is she richened or leaned? I should take a poll. The boost has a little waver in there, and that'll happen when you get the temperature change in the header and the load is different. Everything gets a little more responsive. So, with that in mind, I'll need to tweak the PID a smidge to see if that to keep that happening to him on the road and in various gears. Oh, it's richer now. Okay, so too far, but basically we're where it's going to be. So 5 degrees was too much. We're just going back up to 25. Right there. Just do that. That's where it's going to go. Let me keep this one here. 17 and a half right there. All right. So we know that's all it's going to do. So now I go to the fuel map and hit that spot. Oops, make sure my cursor's at the right spot. Yeah, this whole zone right there. It's this whole zone. Right? And you look at this and you see here, yeah, there's a 14 right there. I was just in that zone before. Right? But because the back pressure is up, the VE is down. Oops, wrong way. God damn it. My down and plus are like the same key on my screen. Okay. I'm going to change that loading back to how it was. I like it better up there. We're representing what it'll do in fourth gear on the highway. Bring that last one up again. Take a peek at the horsepower curve and see if it's even worth revving out as far as I am. Oh, wow. Well, it is really frustrating me right here. Wow, it's pulling all the way to 8 though. Like it's making horsepower all the way to 8. There was no lag on that. I just don't have timing in the mid range. The timing through this zone right here where it's a little rich is too low because it doesn't feel like it's too low though. But it's not a 2.5 liter, right? It's a 207. But I got a dip in the middle there. The cam timing that has changed will probably bring that dip out of it again. But there's a little dip in the middle. Let's go to boost. Boost was a smidge active, and the party that was responsible, well, it looks like proportional, honestly. Proportional was a little bit responsible for the wiggle. Yeah. Still a smidge too much on the proportional. That's actually surprising. I don't feel like it should be quite this low. But if it's working, it's working. I'll put a little bit on the integral. Like that. And the derivative just isn't doing anything. Like it's clearly leaving or departing the target. And the derivative's not doing shit. Okay, we'll go to 3. See what we get. Oh, I should probably check this. That's just a straight line right now. It's like that. Let's go like this. This. Like that. That. Like that. Like that. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm gonna add a smidge of boost to our target now. 14's nice, but let's make it a little more. And check our duty cycle to the last poll. So Wastegate duty cycle of 22 pretty much nailed our boost target of 200. So let's go to our Wastegate table here and look at that real quick. So at 22 at 200 was perfect. So we're going to need more than that for our new target. So I'm going to add a couple percent to that. And do this. Do that. And 170 was 0, technically, right? So we set 0 duty cycle there. We don't need anything more because that's gate pressure. And we do that right there. Okay. Fuck yeah. 375. More power everywhere. That dip in the middle went down. There's still a smidge of dip in the middle. Mostly from timing retard, I'm pretty sure. It went down, but everything else is really good. A little waver in the boost. You heard it kind of waver just a smidge up top. So we can tweak the PID a smidge more right there. I need to make this map bigger. You guys can't see it, and I can't see it, so I definitely need to make it bigger. So I can see it here. So my integral, not doing shit. Half. The proportional is the big offender. And the proportional comes in almost too soon. If you look at it here, it's almost too soon. Stage 2 comes active, and the proportional goes berserk. So it's almost like stage 2 is still coming in too late. Yeah, it's like it's coming too late. Or there's too much proportional authority. It's a little bit of both, really, honestly. So we're going to go 0.3. Now, this is a 25% decrease in proportional authority. But I'm going to take the stage 2 and I'm going to turn it on a little sooner. We're going to go 33 instead of 40 and see if we can go through stage 2 a little quicker, but not too quick where stage 3, you blow through stage 3. But stage 2 is just allowing too much proportional to happen right there. Also, there's a bit of my boost target is too high too soon, right? Like 90%, my boost target, I can't hit this, right? Like this turbo cannot hit this at this RPM. So having my target that high down here hurts me because I get integral windup right there. So let's go to the boost target. See, right here at this spot on the map, I hit 175. So right here, I hit 175. And that's all she's going to do in this gear. So does it make sense to have my target this high? The answer is no. Now to have it lower than 175 doesn't make sense either. So I'm going to do it 180. And then we're going to do that. Like that. That'll help keep the proportional, and the proportional kicks on from going big change and throw a bunch of duty at it and then causing an oscillation. So I have the combination of I'm enabling proportional a little later now. I gave it less authority and I gave it less error. With those three things, it should be pretty darn close. I might create a little extra lag now at this point, so I may need to tweak it a smidge more. But overall, I think that this change is going to be beneficial, especially since we're on pump gas. There's no need to go crazy. Do I hear that loud bang? I'm in Liberty Lake. Hey, where are you? Okay, Nathan just texted me and asked me if I'm hearing that loud bang. Did you hear any loud bangs or anything? Okay. Any smoke or anything that you saw or anything? Yeah, please do. Okay, no smoke or anything in the sky that you see? No smoke or anything in the sky? No smoke or anything? There was a plane flying around? Okay, okay, right. That's like the plane ate shit, right? Near our house. Uh-huh. Okay, okay. I love you. The cat stealer lady. Yeah. All right. All right. There's been this loud smacking noise for a few days now. I think it sounds like it came back behind your guy's place somewhere.
I haven't been hearing it. Maybe he's hearing them doing that new development by him. Because I haven't heard none of that shit, have you? Yeah, and where did it sound like you said by the cat sealer lady's place? You said that direction? Okay. Maybe they're working on a well, drilling a new hole for the well or something. Right. Well, maybe they're fixing it, so that well sucks. Maybe they're drilling another hole, making it bigger or something. Yeah. Yeah. All right, then. I'm gonna go glad that you're okay and make sure that you weren't getting into a car accident or something. Oh, just I meant with the whole banging thing. Excellent. Sounds good. Love you too. Bye. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. I'll show you guys this in a second. No more dip. 380 wheel at 18 pounds, 80, might be like 8,400 RPM. 8,000 here, so 8,000, 8,100 RPM. Now it says 82, so pretty close. That's good. Double check air fuel. We got a rich spot in the middle. Still quite rich in the middle right here. He just dips below the scale, rich. It's really weird how rich it is. 7.0, so still 5% or so. 5% or so. What's that right here? I just wonder if I should add 250 increments with this engine. I don't like adding 250 increments, but I might have to if it doesn't straighten out. I think we're done with pump gas, though. I think we're done with pump gas. It's almost annoying as my old dyno. At least your load control works, right? I love the load control in Mustang. Yeah, Mustangs have good load control too. No, this cam doesn't seem too big for this at all. Like, yes, Mark, my wife has a nickname for me. It's Muffin, short for Stud Muffin, and my phone it says Stud Muffin on it, so she calls me Muffin for short. Sorry, no, wait, Love Muffin, not Stud Muffin. Love Muffin on the phone. It says Love Muffin on the thing. Anyways, so I mean, I think we can see there's not too much cam, and I'll show you the dyno graphic in a second. But it pulls all the way to 8, and we're only at 18 pounds or so. Really, all the cam's doing is reducing the amount of boost needed to hit these to max out the airflow on the turbo. And in reality, that's good, right? Because if you look at most compressor maps, they're not the peak efficiency at peak boost. They're at 30 psi. They're usually very efficient around 14 or 18 psi at boost in there. And so I'm trying to get the airflow out of it and keep it efficient. So if I can reduce the restriction, reduce the pressure ratio and gain flow, then I'm great. And that's what these cams clearly do on the intake side. Now people worry about choking out the exhaust side. Well, I have ABCS. I can remove all overlap with B cams. If it was C's, it'd be too much. Not because it's too much to the mid-range, but because I can't remove enough overlap up top. But because it's B's, I can remove all the overlap up top. No more overlap up top. Doesn't matter how big the cam is. You can't have too big of a cam if you can remove all overlap up top. There's no such thing. The only time a cam is too big is when it has too much overlap for the turbo and for the housing. And in this case, I don't have that. In this case, I have more flow everywhere. I have the ability to spool a 20G turbo on a 2-liter at the same point that you would normally spool a 20G turbo on a 2.5-liter. That says something. And then carry power all the way to 80-something hundred RPM. It's pretty good. So let me get that. I'll yell for them to get the ethanol going. Put the power up. And the torque up. Give me a second. Same axes? Yeah, same axes, cross 52. Okay. I'm ready for ethanol.
Cool.
Like this. Oh.
Pretty spicy.
Yeah, on pump gas, it fucking rips. It's going to rip even more on ethanol. I gotta close the connection here, unplug me, so I don't tug the cables out. And then I'm going to take my image, I'm going to expand it like so, and then get you guys this diagram. Uh-oh. All right. Say what? I don't. Let me see if I can find it. One sec. Put this here. I know it used to be inside one of these. Yeah, I don't see it. My wife called. I have until 3:30, so they were delayed. So we have some time to finish this ethanol tune. Yeah, is that the big one?
Yeah. No, you got a nice one.
That's me. It's fine. It's fine. I was just curious. We'll find it eventually. We'll find it eventually. I could have guided it. Just jam it in the hole. Jam it in the hole. All the way. There you go. That's okay.
We'll put all 10 gallons in.
Yeah, put it all.
To get a high concentrate.
Yes, please.
We told them to burn it down between quarter and half of like almost 8 tons of gas.
Oh, it's fine. It's like an 8 right now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fast.
Yeah, it's gonna. He needs to get a controller on the 6-speed.
I think we have an extra. We have one from the White Forester. That's where the stretch came out of.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We put the 6-speed in it, and then the shop that
Slow down a little bit.
what's his name had
There you go.
assembled the bottom end.
Yeah.
One of the headsets old,
Oh, right. I remember that.
so he's like, "Cut this car, I'm selling it."
Come on, big boy. Jam it in the hole.
Soon.
I meant. Oh, it's so in there.
Shut up. That's all I got, man. Like, come on, it's only have like 2 or 3 to work with, right? Yeah.
Across? No.
I say dump it with that.
You try.
That doesn't have the power spout, so.
It might be a mess.
Yeah, right.
This is good. This does it fill up slowly at the car so it can see the change and make the corrections. I have no idea if it's pulling or adding 20% fuel right now or not.
It might. I remember when I put ethanol in the Skyline, we'd be like, put some in there. I was like, ooh, shit. Like that.
Too fast. They have a damping characteristic on the ethanol sensor so that it.
No, like the tone tune, like, yeah, baby.
Yeah. Oh, I bet it's probably over there. The other funnel, by the other can. Yeah, it's whatever.
You got the right angle on it now.
Yeah, seems good. Where do those cans come from?
Chase coming from Cousin's motorcycle shop.
Okay. I like the handles on them.
What do you do? Got two of them.
Yeah.
The PP one's
Yeah, the dimple in the back.
that doesn't fucking help.
It's not very good. That's what I have with the green VP one.
I have two blues, a white, and a green.
Probably take that one back. Probably take that one back. The funnel. Oops, from left up.
I need that.
I might. I don't know if you can see the graph or not, but so I put it there so the people watching the stream can see it. Ugh. Yeah. All right, let's get this on here. Back. Get my power back. Thoughts on the BCP? Yeah, I don't like stock location turbos at all. I'm not a stock location turbo fan by any means, and the BCP isn't an exception. However, I haven't tuned one. Honestly, I've had so many cars show up. Typically, let me gather my thoughts real quick so I can say it without. Okay, so stock location turbos suck balls. As soon as you start getting into higher horsepower levels like this, there's zero reason to stay stock location, other than you're a cheap ass, right? That's it. Because you have tons of inlet restriction with that inlet, the skin inlet going under the manifold, hanging a 90-degree turn, not even a good 90. Like, there's nowhere in any pipe system where you would see a 90-degree like these turbo inlets are on the factory ones. It's bad. It's bad. And even you go silicone, that inside edge is, it's a hard 90, right? Air has inertia. Air is going to be moving through that pipe, and it's going to have to turn. And the air on half that pipe it's all wants to go straight, and the air on the outside is going to make the corner and then try and push all the other air through with it, right? It is a terrible design for any level of horsepower. Absolute shit. You never want to have that sharp of a turn. And if you know anything about CFM and you watch anything, if you watched Gale Banks is one of his more recent videos. He explains it very well, and I wish I could have done it as good as he did. And that talking about the CFM at the inlet of the turbo versus the outlet of the turbo, and how the CFM in is actually less than the CFM out because you've increased the density of the air. So you have the same mass going in as you have going out, but now it's denser on the outlet, right? And that's kind of the whole purpose of having boost. And so the CFM in the turbo is way more than the CFM out. And That's why you need bigger pipes on the inlet. You go, oh, the outlet's only 2 inch. Why is the inlet 4? Well, the inlet's 4 because CFM, the air is less dense, and I got to get more volume into the inlet of the turbo than I'm putting out of it. Right? Turbo's putting out way less volume, but it's putting out the same amount of mass in less volume, which means it's denser air. So that inlet, when you start talking 600 horsepower, it just doesn't. Like, it does not do the job. It doesn't do the job adequately. It's crap, basically. All right, let's see. How well did the car compensate with ethanol? Holy shit, really well. I'm looking at it right now. I got only a 3% trim, and I was already negative trim before. I think it was, 6 before? So within 3% change in fuel trim at idle, that's pretty freaking cool. One thing you'll notice is that I did not richen the lambda target on the second map like I did on the first one, right? The reason I didn't do it is because ethanol is denser. There's also more of it because it carries its own oxygen. We have to put more ethanol in there for the same amount of air in the cylinder. So when you add more mass in the cylinder, which is what we're doing with ethanol, because we're running like 30% more, right? When you add more mass in the cylinder, all the molecules are closer together. And so the flame has an easier time propagating to the next section with charge, right? And that's where that flammability comes in. I was talking about earlier that I kind of skipped out of. That flammability window is really important. And it's basically saying how well the engine burns, mixtures, how well the flame in the chamber is able to propagate to the next adjacent molecule, right? Because the reaction starts at one molecule and it goes and it spreads out, right? And then it spreads to more molecules and more molecules, more molecules. But they got to be close enough for the energy that one's releasing to trigger the next event. And if they're really far apart, then what will happen is you'll get a spot where the flame will start to propagate in the cylinder and then go this direction, but not this way. Or they go this direction first and then eventually circle back around, right? And in that situation, you get less efficient burn and less torque produced per unit of time. Whereas if every time the flame starts in the center and it burns just straight out like that, right? Straight like this is going to be the biggest, most rapidly growing, fastest burning, cleanest burning, hottest burning combustion event versus it going one direction and then spreading this way and then spreading around and doing this number, right? And that's the basis for why a lot of V8 guys with their wedge-shaped chambers and all that shit, and their two-valve heads, clock their spark plugs. You may have heard people talk about indexing spark plugs. Indexing your spark plug means you're clocking it so each plug is in the same direction. So that flame kernel isn't being shrouded by the strap in a direction that would be not beneficial. So like if I have my chamber here and the plug's kind of at the edge of the chamber, unlike the V8s, right? It's like just barely into it, like on one side of it, like this. I got a big chamber here and the plug just comes in. If I have that strap here and towards this side, then that flame kernel is going to try and burn this way around it, and you're going to impede the ability of the flame to ignite the main center area of the chamber. So they index it so the strap is towards the backside, so that the strap isn't in the way, and that flame kernel is able to propagate the burn from that point through the main bulk of the cylinder or the chamber, right, and give you this most consistent and cleanest burn. That's why. All right, let's see how she's doing. Let's see what our gauge reads for ethanol now. I am on the wrong screen. Temperature is still good, though, so that's good. That's going to freak out. Ethanol sensor status is active. Oh, thank you very much. Digital. Ethanol sensor is active still. All right, where are we at now? I hate where they put it. What's things? I always forget where they put it. Ethanol temperature, 17%, 66. Wish it was higher. All right, so I'm going to go to my boost target maps for ethanol, which is boost target 2. That's with a higher concentration of ethanol. And again, this one is blended between the two of them, between the boost target 1 and 2 based on ethanol concentration. So I'm going to export this to clipboard, pull up number 2, now boost target 2. I got it set at 250. I need to lower this spot down here. I'm going to just change it over. We'll import from clipboard like that. It's got that reduction where it's going to be. Now, ethanol makes turbos respond quicker, so we may find that we actually add some more to this zone. It's going to come on harder and sooner. I'm actually going to leave the boost the same as the first one. Then I need to get my wastegate map, wastegate table 1. Get that one. Let's export this to the clipboard. We'll get wastegate table 2, and we'll make this the same, and then we can move it around from there. I'm getting fucking shook up. These tires have a flat spot in just a few minutes. Alright, so we're good there. Let's go to our timing maps now, because I gotta get the timing good. Timing table 1. We're gonna export this to clipboard. Timing table 2 is another one that's more aggressive. In some areas, but not others. We're just gonna import it from clipboard, like that, and then I'm gonna add some in the loaded regions. Right here, actually probably here. Nope, right there. I'm gonna add 2 degrees. So half 1, half 2. I changed my mind. I'm going 3 degrees. Like that. I'm gonna save that guy. And we're gonna check our lambda targets again, see where we're at on that. Let's go to fuel tune, lambda target 2, like so. That's a lot later. 835, I like that. That's going to be saucy. It's going to be really good. Let me save this file too, actually. All right. Should be enough. And again, our boost limit table. Oh, that was fourth. Our boost limit table is based on target boost, so I don't got to worry about that. And that's a huge benefit. Let me check one thing though. Ignition corrections. Which one do I have in here? Just straight based on load. At high IATs, it's pulling a bunch of timing. At low IATs, it's not pulling any. Perfect. Now, technically, this table here isn't as needed with ethanol because even at higher IATs, ethanol doesn't knock as much. But when it does, when ethanol finally lets go, though, it knocks hard. Gasoline has like soft knock, intro to knock, it's like knock 101, and then it becomes knock 210, and then knock 435, you're shitting out piston parts, right? Ethanol is like nothing. Hey, you fucked up, right? So it doesn't hurt to have some IAT correction for that. I still hit the map limit. So I went too fast. Remember I said before that the wastegate is more active. The wastegate is more active on ethanol than it is on pump gas. And we just saw that. We just saw that 28% is too damn much. So there's the cut from the map. Getting there. Why is our map target not showing? Or map limit? Let's go here. Boost target 217. Map 236. There it goes. So we can see that while we added this much before with the pump gas, the ethanol, it wasn't needed. Now this is interesting. That integral really came in hard right there, though. Why did the integral come in so hard right there? What's going on there? Why is our map target? Target 220. Oh, right here. Okay, so here we are. Look at that. Remember I was saying before that it comes in a lot quicker. Check this out. So here our target is only 172 or 190. We're already 172. Like it came in and duty cycle had to drop because it was already hitting the target pretty hard. So that spot right here where it's 180 now is so boost target 2. Let's raise that. That'll should help that a bunch. But yeah, you can see like I was saying before that it definitely will be more active. What else we got? And then here the integral was so high because the target went suddenly from 80 to 220 that it created an error, so that should make it better. But I still need to probably pull a smidge of duty cycle out of the wastegate for on this number 2 map. Big pull, just 4%. That'd probably be enough. That wasn't 4%. That was 4 clicks. That's 0.5%, 2%. See if we got it again. Look at that. First pull 406. Yeah, 406. I'll take it. Now we got some integral coming in. We got a little waver. The boost stayed pretty steady. Just a little wiggle. Derivative still isn't doing anything. I don't understand why derivative doesn't show anything. I have derivative set gain set at 3. And it's not doing anything. I'm really confused by that. Weird. I mean, I was doing an experiment. I set it at 30 and see if it does something. This is weird. Now you see up top here, we had to add some duty cycle though at the very top end, only 2% to keep the boost target. Now that I would expect to see that, right? Like I expect that, and the fact that it was pretty steady before was surprising. So right here we need to add a little bit. Usually, like these duty cycle tables are not this flat. That's not characteristic of hardly any turbo car, and also it's not usually this low. That's a surprise to me as well, how low this duty cycle table is and how much we're getting out of it. So that's cool. Let's go along. Let's go to mixtures. Air fuel, slight wiggle through the air fuel, but that one's adding 14% right there. Okay, so it added a lot of fuel across there. Huh. So that means that my fuel density is wrong. I mean, we do improve the VE with ethanol, and 40% ethanol is. Oh, I didn't do a second map for that. 40% ethanol gives you a significant increase in volumetric efficiency. Sorry, I'm trying to find my table. Ignition. Okay, so here's fuel. Closed loop lambda. Nope, not that. Fuel corrections. Dual fuel table. There it is. It might fucking just go. Yeah, figured. Fuel table 1. Export to clipboard. Fuel table 2. Import from clipboard. Like so. Okay, and then we'll take this and go this. 1.1. Like that. And then, did that work? Did not. There we go. Okay, like that. And then I need to do my table ratio. Now this blows people away. At 40% ethanol, we want to have all of the second table. And at 100% ethanol, we only want about 70% of the table. It's between 60 and 80% based on the vehicle. Okay, now you may be going, say, what? So what they found was that mass I was talking about, right? I told you, air has inertia. Well, so does the fuel. And so the inertia of the fuel, the extra mass that ethanol has in it, leaving the engine, provided a denser exhaust charge and more inertia, as well as an increase in cooling in the intake manifold, allowed the engine to bring more air in. And it, in some engines specifically, they had VE numbers of increases greater than 20% in certain areas or more, which is huge, right? To gain VE 20%. But that was at 40% ethanol. At 40% ethanol, you were getting extra mass and you're getting a lot of cooling on the intake, which is good because then it cools the charge, makes the charge more dense, and you can get more in there, right? So there was this combination effect of 40% was the sweet spot. It was the money shot for sure. And then as you went up, that gain started to decrease again, up to where it was only like on the engines that gained 40% at 80% or at 100% ethanol, they only gained 5, right? It was like the gain was cut down by about a quarter or so. So my 70 is a little high. Yeah, my 70 is wrong. So anyways, but it made a huge difference. And obviously, I didn't put 40% on the secondary map on this. I only put 10% on there as a start for the lower areas, and then I can bump some stuff up into the loaded areas where it needs more. But anyways, yeah. The guys at Mtron took one of my customers' tunes and changed this table to be 0 to 100, and his tune was all fucked up. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, they didn't realize that the study had been done to show that adding ethanol by itself increased VE the most at 40%, and then it decreased again from there. Again, it was still a net gain, but they lost the gains, most of the gains by 100% ethanol, not most, a significant margin. And since I started doing that, it has made a huge difference in the tunes and the consistency in all the intermediate ethanol ranges because sure enough, holy shit, at 40%, it is just the sweet spot. So I tell all my customers, man, especially the winter, run that 40% ethanol because 40% is awesome. It's just really awesome. It's 40. My car, I keep it at 30 to 40% all year round. Starts great in the winter, kicks ass making power. It's safer. It feels more responsive because you get that VE benefit down out of boost. Out of boost, you get that VE benefit, so the engine's snappier and all that. If you're gonna go race, then yeah, bump it up to like 65 to 80%. But for daily shit, when you're hauling at me, you still gain like fucking 40 horse, and it's just better all around. So 40% is like, it's just good, man. It's just good. I really like it, and you should too. Yeah. So okay, we're still lean though. Like we're really lean. So, two things that happened in there. One, this charge temperature approximation table is based on gasoline stuff. Well, it's not. It's literally based on the engine geometry, but gasoline does respond differently than the ethanol does. Then the multi-fuel section, we got what I was showing you here earlier, the charge cooling coefficient. And yeah, it wasn't enough because it was still lean and adding a bunch of fuel. So this number needs to go up, but also the density of the fuel, 8.2 would have to go down. 8.2 is about right. 8.2 is about right. So I'm gonna make this a 20. Save that, and then we will see how that helps. On the next poll, those two changes helps the next poll. Now our timing, I still got 14 degrees right here, which is not very much timing, but I like it being safe right here at 4 grand, 14 degrees. But up top we've got 21.6. I thought I added 3 degrees.
That's not 3 degrees of added timing. Is this the same pole, or did I close it? No, it's the same pole. That's weird. I added 3 degrees. I didn't get it. Why didn't I get it? I did that. So it wasn't quite 3 degrees, but it should have been like 2.5. What else happened? I don't know. It's weird. I could swear I should get more time than that. Let's look at the map. Oh, that's what it says. Okay. Add some more timing. Oh, did I add it to the first map? Let's double check that. No, I didn't. So that was 20 in that cell, and that's 21 in that cell. Okay, so I didn't. That's good. Just want to make sure. Okay, and also, like I was doing before, I want to lower this ramp a little bit. All right. Anyone that knows 207s know 207s love timing. But I don't want to bend a rod on this thing. So I'm going to pull the timing down to 4,500 that I just added. If I added any. Right here. Oh, no, it's still good. 14. I'm going to pull that one down, actually. Pull this spot down. I keep forgetting it's not a forged motor. I don't want to flatten it, engine parts. All right. Now this dyno, 400 something wheel on this dyno. That's fucking something. Actually, I want to lengthen the roller some because of the way it's been loading with the no 6-speed controller. This thing needs a 6-speed controller bad. So we get a little bit of difference of speed in there. So I'm going to see if I move this some and change how much weight's on each roller. Maybe and change the grip and the bias. Probably not. I mean, but we'll see. All right. All right. So I think we finally got derivative to do something. I'm excited to find out. The derivative finally do something. Yes, it did. Look at that. The green line finally wiggled. For once. And that is exactly what you'd expect derivative to do. Cool. All right. I'm glad that it finally freaking moved. So let's go 15. We'll cut that in half. Let's see. There we go. That was the diff. I don't know if you heard that or not. A little groan for a second. That was the 6-speed diff because it's not being held by electrical power. So the wheel speed difference between front and rear was too much and just slipped and chattered. So that's if you heard that on the dyno or in the video, I mean that's what that noise was. Luckily, it's the first time I did it during the tune, but it definitely is something that needs to be addressed for the owner. All right, look at that, nice 420. Flat torque, good. I knocked that torque down a smidge at 4,500 range because I don't want to spike too hard. Like I said, I want to keep these rods straight. But man, that looks nice. I'm gonna see if I can raise it up. Let's see what the wastegate's doing closer to the red line. Maybe I can add some boost up top and carry that power a little bit harder because we're only at shit. We're only like 17, 18 pounds peak. Let's do that. Let's add some more boost up top.
See what you do. Oh, fuck, it's 320. Oh, I gotta finish anyways. Do this. Let's go like that. Let's see if it likes that. If it can do it. Sure enough, it did raise the power. Integral was adding 8 to it, so we got full integral addition. Just barely hitting, we're just below our boost target at the red line, so integral was adding it up. Derivative is still a smidge too aggressive. I'm just glad that we finally got some freaking movement out of it. So we'll do that. And do this. Do that there. That'll fix that wiggle up the top. And then we go to Wastegate, and then we call it good. I think we're done. This thing rips. Duty cycle it needed to have to hit this target was 34. So right here, we go this. Needed 34 in this weather to hit this target. And then we do that guy, so. And then we bring it in, and really had to start tapering it like around $5,000, right, as we started coming in. 65, 55, yeah, right there at 5 started coming up. So this is perfect. Right there, I like that. All right. And then derivative wiggles gotten rid of. That spot. Proportional, still a smidge finicky, that proportional. I'm going to drop down just a tiny bit. We'll go like this, and then I'll do one integral. Like that. And that should be the money right there. Chef's fucking kiss right there. Sounds great. Ran great. Look at that. I'll show you this map here in just 1 second, or this graph. That is units 445. Holy shit. I hope these rods hold up. Ran her to 8,500 on that pole. I don't know if you heard her. It was just going so well, I had to keep going. Yeah, 85 on the money. File save, stored. Let's look at this diagraph. Let's connect. Oh, one check. Check my air fuels again. 2%, 2%. Oh, fuck. Remember I said it was 14 release. 2%, 2%, 4%. No, I'm done. Gotta go.
Can you do another one for
No,
me? So
I gotta go.
Video? Oh, fuck. Can you do it in like 2 seconds?
Ah, fuck.
Spicy 2-liter.
Dude, seriously.
No rolling anyway?
This doesn't have that.
No fire?
How am I gonna do that? We gotta
I
run.
told Devin you're gonna make it shoot fire.
We gotta run wires to the ECU for that. You hook the cruise control up to it, and we can do that.
You done?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
All right, guys. Let me fit this graph, and then I gotta head out. Oops. 1 second. Excuse a touchscreen, so I gotta deal with that shit. There we go. 447. Can't beat that with a stick. And then boost was 21.5 at redline. You see I have it going up because I want to keep the rods in it. So you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not. The boost starts here, it comes up, it's like 17.5, 18 pounds, and then it goes up to like 21.5 through this upper region here. So, what? Yeah. Oh, I burned that muffler in, huh? That high power is a high smoker. It's gonna be what?
What was the bid?
21. Brand new exhaust is smoking like crazy. You can smell the packing in it. All right, gents, I gotta go. I'm late to pick up my family. My wife's texting me going, "Where the hell are you?" So, anyways, yeah. So only 20 pounds, but the boost. But like I said, when you have the cams, you increase flow and reduce pressure ratio. You can make everything more efficient. And as long as you can remove the overlap, then you can keep it efficient all the way across the power band. Otherwise, if you can't remove overlap, you can have the cams make it really efficient in a zone where the turbine housing is not choked out. But then after that, you're SOL. But with AVCS, you can pull out the overlap and keep the thing efficient over a really wide RPM range. That's why you see that power is so damn flat and smooth. So, if anybody has any questions, please come by the Discord. I teach tuning all the time on the Discord. Come by and ask questions. If you sign up for the lessons, you can go through the educational section, get the lessons and all that stuff too. So, anyways, I gotta go. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching this car kick ass.